You know, it's really hard to be tall. I know, Joey. People like me, when we're like, 6'8", I think I'm sometimes 7 feet. Why are you laughing?
You're wearing high heels.
So yeah, no, I am not a tall person. I am, well, let's just say average height. So don't say below average height. I'm average height. So, but there's a lot of tall players, and Zach Eddy is one of them. I'm Doc Faisal, orthopedic surgeon with Move Smarter Health. We are sponsored by an educational grant from Kinesi Movement. I love sports. I love talking about injuries. I take care of shoulder and knee injuries, and I operate and treat on them. And please consider this an educational, informative video only. Here we go. He is 7'3", with the Grizzlies. Used to be with Purdue. I think I have a shot of him from Purdue. Super tall. Having some ankle issues. So what's going on? Well, we know that tall stature can be associated with certain disorders, and everyone jumps the gun and says, oh, Marfan syndrome. But not everyone has Marfan syndrome. It in and of itself, it's a rare genetic disorder, but it is more common. And I think you have to sort of make that sort of separation of, is association make it a causal inference, or is it just association? And more often than not, tall people can have Marfan syndrome, but not everyone with Marfan's, or not every tall person has Marfan's. And I think that's important to understand. And as far as I'm aware, there's no features that Zach Eddy has to say that he's Marfan. Could he have Marfanoid syndrome? I don't know. There's no evidence of that. But if you look at something really tall and placing that entire height and weight onto an itty bitty little talus. What's that movie reference?
I like it.
Aladdin. Itty bitty little. So itty bitty little talus with 7'3" height. What's 7'3"? That's an entire moment arm. And imagine he's a skinny, relatively scrawny. I'm sure he's got some muscle bulk, but pretty solid pole of an individual. 7'3". When you angle that, imagine the amount of forces. Just do a free body diagram. You put a 7-foot solid steel beam or wooden beam or whatever you want it. I'm sure there's a density matrix. Make it homogeneous or heterogeneous. Use a finite element analysis program that some of you guys have. And look at what happens if you were to angle that in any direction. There's a lot of forces going through that, couple centimeters squared talus surface area, maybe more, depending on the size, depending on the overall curvature. It's direct impact, it's shear, it's rotational, so many different components that can affect that ankle through that entire moment arm. And you got gravity, right? So you got gravity going in this direction. If it were straight up and down, not too bad if you just stand still, right? But then you twist it, and then you jump, and then you land, and then you accelerate. It's a lot of forces going through that, right? Imagine trying to build a coupling device mechanically out of steel ball bearings to do that. There's a lot of things to consider when you try and build that, right? It's not just a vehicle, it's not just a car. It has to be a lot of force and a lot of weight in multiple directions, tangentially, and from acceleration to sudden stops to jumping, okay? That's why there's so many limitations. That's why we always have a lot of we are impressed by biology. We're trying to invoke biomimicry when we try and create various tools and structures within our ecosystem. So we can't make synthetic cartilage that's implantable in a durable manner that has longevity like hyaline cartilage yet. You know, everyone's trying. Do you create synthetic cartilage outside the body, put it in? Do you try and regenerate it inside the body and allow it to become the hyaline cartilage? So much information we don't know. Now, the question basically, you know, you have to ask is, why are tall people having a lot of ankle problems? Well, I mean, if you just look at the overall physics and the mechanics of it, it makes sense. I mean, it could affect any joint, but the ankle in particular with that very tall height can affect it. But let's just say, for example, you had a genetic predisposition to any connective tissue disorder, whether it be Marfan, Marfanoid, or any other type of connective tissue disorder. It can affect the cartilage, it can affect the soft tissues, it can affect the ligament stability, and if you have really tall height, the weight per square area is also significantly higher because the anatomy of the bone, it does not grow exponentially, but your weight and height could be a significantly higher proportion to the amount of increased surface area of the talus when it comes to someone like me or someone like you. You could, I mean, I don't know what his shoe size is. Somebody tell me down below. What's his shoe size? Is it a 12? Is it a 14? I don't know. It could be a 16 for all I know. Is there a 16 shoe size? Shaq. There you go. So if his shoe size is 16, how much bigger is his talus relative to the proportional difference in his height and weight? We don't know that. And is it proportional all the time? It could be. But if it's not proportional, then that means that the mechanics can be affected. And even if it is proportional, it's still a lot of force and a lever arm to affect that ankle. So whether it's genetic, environmental, or just plain physics, there's a lot of reasons why taller people can have problems with ankle injuries in sports. You don't see a lot of tall people playing soccer. I mean, that is brutal on your ankles and your knees. You'll see the goaltenders, they'll be tallish, but actually, we should get a statistic on who is the tallest soccer player out there.
It's gotta be a goalie.
I mean, for sure it's a goalie.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, maybe, wouldn't that be amazing if all of a sudden you see Eddy playing soccer and he's just heading everything into the goal? It's just like he's just moving around. You just, like, imagine the amount of force required to move that body, the overall optimal efficiency to be able to run super fast. You don't get the fastest human runners in the world at 7'3". You'll get lanky long distance runners, but there are some advantages and disadvantages to height. And that's why I like to be shorter. Short is good. Let's just go with that. All right. Anything else?
Tallest football player is 6'10".
Really?
Yeah, plays for England's Southern League Central Division.
Okay, there you go. There you go. 6'10" is the tallest football player, and that is not a common height for a football player. Sorry, what's his position?
It's not goalie.
No.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So 6'10" is still taller than me, so it's outside of my reach. Well, I think I can reach 6'10". Injuries can happen. There are some players that are more at risk than others. There are also some athletes that tend to gravitate towards certain sports, and then certain biomechanics or kinematic overall optimized architectural function that are more suited for certain sports than others. For example, a large wingspan is great for swimming. Height, great for basketball. Thick, strong quadriceps and lower extremity muscles for soccer and gymnastics. So there's all sorts of different, if you do the upper body for gymnastics as well. So in the end, in terms of tall people with ankle problems, it makes sense. It's logical. There's definite medical evidence and physics and biology and overall kinematic mechanics to make it sound reasonable. So let's hope Zach Eddy gets better with his ankle. Hope it's nothing major, and see you next time.